So, day one of Meps. Before I went to Meps, I went to my recruiter's office and we did we signed a couple papers. I did an interrogation with my recruiter. When I got interrogated, the recruiter told me that I talked too much, and I really did. Every time he asked me a question about, let's say, depression, and I didn't give a yes, but I just say, oh, I was depressed during high school. And when you say that, it's not good, because when you go to Meps, they're gonna instantly say, oh, you're depressed, oh, you considered suicide, oh, he cut himself, oh, blah 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 blah, and then you have to get a waiver and you get disqualified, and it's not fun. So that's the thing. Meps is a little tricky, and my recruiter said that I talk too much. So I do not know if you guys ever went through that yourself when you went to recruiter's office before you went to Meps, but that's what I went through when I had to go to Meps. So, first day. After I finished the interrogation with my recruiter, then I signed some papers. I had to bring my social security and my ID. After that, we'll be heading to the recruiter's vehicle, and then we'll be going to the Meps facility. Takes about 1 hour 30 minutes for me, but sometimes it can be shorter, sometimes it can be longer. I did hear that you could bring your own car to the Meps area, but I believe you have to have permission. I did not bring a car. I went with my recruiter and we drove to Meps. So first day of Meps, I was actually 20 plus hours of no sleep at this point because I had a test on Monday. So it really sucks for me, and I'm actually pretty that day. I was very tired and I wanted to go to sleep. But when I walk into Meps, they give me a sticker. But I believe that once you get the sticker, it tells you your branch, your name, and whatnot. Once you get your sticker, it'll be sitting down waiting for your name to be called. You will have your fingers scanned, and you will go into the system. After that, you will go into the ASVAB test room and you'll be taking your ASVAB. Now, usually the ASVAB takes around 2 hours, 3 hours. I believe 4 hours is your max, but my ASVAB took around 5 to 6 hours due to it being garbage. It froze multiple times throughout the time when I was at Meps. Was not fun. Multiple sections of my ASVAB, it froze, so I had to wait, and they couldn't do anything, so it was pretty boring day for me. After you finish your 8 sections of the ASVAB, then you'll be going to a hotel. Once you arrive to the 5-star hotel, you actually get buffet for dinner and buffet for morning, which is pretty cool. Now, our recruiters told me that do not get anything high in sodium because that could fuck up your pressure, and you don't want to get disqualified for that. Once we arrive to the hotel, you can pretty much do anything you want. You're free to do anything, actually. We only had 3 hours until curfew, which is around 10 o'clock. And what we did is we went to the jacuzzi, and we just pretty much chilled, which is awesome. Or sorry, hot tub. We chilled. We went to the gym a little bit. We worked out, and I guess like 15 of us. We just all chill and get to know each other. And guys, make some friends when you're there, because that can make the whole process much funner and much easier once you get to the second day. Now, at that point, I was around 30 hours of no sleep, and I'm really tired. I actually went to sleep around 9 o'clock. I did stay awake for 2 hours just to hang out with these new candidates, and it was actually pretty fun. I went to sleep, and we woke up at around 3 o'clock. We got breakfast, and then we had to head to the bus at 4 o'clock. Once we head to the bus at 4 o'clock, we went to Meps again around 4:30, and we had to do a formation. Once you're at formation, you're basically waiting 30 minutes until they open up the gates. You go through security, and basically you sit down and wait. After that, you go into this room, and you basically listen to the instructor, sign some papers. Pretty easy, straightforward. When you're in that room, you do a breathalyzer test just to see if you're good or not. Hopefully you're good, but I was good. Pretty easy. After a breathalyzer, then you do a medical interview. Basically, prior to going to Meps at the recruiter's office, the recruiter will tell you like, hey, have you been depressed before? Have you ever cut yourself? Have you used a inhaler before? Have you, I don't know, do you use glasses? Stuff like that. Pretty easy. The medical interview was actually pretty easy. I mean, all they just basically asked those questions, and I was pretty much clean except glasses. So, pretty straightforward. After the medical interview, you could either do the P test, the hearing test, the glasses. It kind of depends what order you go through. Because I had to go to the bathroom, I was like, you know what, I want to do the P test first. And it's actually not that bad. You go to the bathroom, you got 4 stalls, you got a instructor right behind you, and you just pee in the cup. Pretty simple. There was like 2 guys who had issue peeing, and when you can't pee because the instructor's right behind you, you're kind of like scared. They'll give you like say an hour or 2, and if you really can't pee because you just can't, they'll give you around 72 hours to pee. And if you don't pee 72 hours, I believe you get disqualified. After the pee test, I did the hearing test, and the hearing test is pretty easy. Go into this little room, little box, I guess you could say, and you have some headphones, you get a little button, and then you just wait until you hear a sound, and it's pretty straightforward. I think anybody can pass that. After the hearing test, I got some blood taken from my veins. It's actually not that bad, doesn't hurt at all. The one of the instructors will tell you if if you faint before when giving blood, and if you do, then I do not know what will happen, but for me, I never fainted before, and it was a pretty easy process. After the blood test, guys, you'll be taking your eye test. There's 3 parts. You got the eye test itself, you got the color test, and then you got the depth perception test. The eye test is pretty simple. You'll be just seeing numbers and letters just to see if you can see that number or letter or not. They'll keep adjusting the lenses until you're completely good. Next is the color test. You'll see 37, 20, 19, and if you see it, perfect. If you don't see it, or if you say a different number, then you may be colorblind and you may fail. If you fail that test, then you'll be disqualified for some jobs. So hopefully you pass that test so that you won't be disqualified. Lastly, the depth perception test is probably the hardest test for me because I actually didn't see anything. Because of that, I was disqualified for some of the jobs, but it doesn't really matter because I'm doing administration or admin, so it didn't really affect me at all. And after the blood test, you get your blood pressured. Pretty simple. Go to this machine. They put like a little thingamajiggy on your biceps. Goes over your biceps actually, and just inflates, deflates. Pretty simple. If you have high blood pressure or low blood pressure, I believe they will record that. I'm not sure if that disqualifies you though, so don't ask me that question. Ask your recruiter. After the blood pressure, you do a medical physical, which this is where a lot of people get very scared and very like, this is disgusting. First thing you do is you go into a room. There's around 10 guys who are actually with boxers, pretty much nearly naked. After the blood pressure test, you'll be doing a physical, which is not fun for a lot of people because physicals are disgusting and it's really not comfortable. Now, when you do your physical, you're in a room and there's around 15 to 10 guys. Could be more, could be less. Everybody's actually with boxers, no shirts, no pants, no shoes, no nothing, just boxers. They'll get your heights, your weights, and then you'll be sitting down with all these guys, and you're just waiting until you go into the private room. The private room is where you have a trained professional doctor. He's going to be doing a full physical on you, and it's pretty much, they will touch your genitals, which is not fun. They will make you spread your cheeks. They will question if you have scars or if you have cuts. Actually, I had a cut in my shoulder, my left shoulder, because of my cats. And when he asked that, sometimes they will ask if if you ever cut yourself before, or if you've ever been depressed. So just be aware that they will ask you these questions. It's kind of weird. After your medical physical, then you will do some exotic little movements, exercises. One of the movements they will make you do is like the duck walk. Another movement maybe could be just checking your joints, checking your hands, see if everything works properly. They'll make you move your feet around, do circles with your feet. It's really weird. I believe there's around 10 to 15 exercises that they make you do, so don't quote me on that, but I believe it's around there. After you finish your movement test, then you will meet your basically your branch instructor, and that instructor will ask you a bunch of questions. Now he will be goody-goody with you, and he will try to get to know you more, so that you could be more vulnerable. And that's they're gonna try to get you to spill. If you ever did marijuana before, if you ever smoke, if you ever got tickets, or if you ever did this or did that. Some military interviews, it was pretty chill. Some military interviews, it's pretty like they're really like trying to get you to say something. And I remember I was talking to this army guy, candidates, and his military interview guy was just like easy. He said, you know what, I'm not going to ask you these questions. Are you clean? You are? Okay, you're checked. Welcome to the United States Army. Pretty simple. Now, for the Marine Corps, for me, it was a little bit more complex. So my military instructor, he tried to get goody-goody with me, and he told a story, actually, about a young recruit who just got into Parris Island first day. When it's the first day of boot camp, they will actually make you do another medical interview again, and they'll ask you if you've ever done this, done that, marijuana, drug, blah, 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 blah. Pretty easy. And actually, he said that he never did, he never used a inhaler before. And what happened was, the day when he went to Parris Island, he told the doctors that he did use the inhaler once. And because of that, he lied to the government, and the government just went crazy on him and just made him do medical discharge, and basically the instructor's been trying to scare me to say something so that we could prevent that. Now, they're trying to look out for you because you don't want that to happen to you, but I really didn't have nothing to hide, so I was like, okay, cool. And I was also thinking in my head, like, this guy is trying to scare me, and I'm pretty clean, so I'm good. After the military interview, you do a lot of paperwork. You'll get all your fingers scanned on the system, so that was fun. After the paperwork, then you do your oath. You say your name, you say a couple words, and then you join the military. Now, sometimes you do your oath at the first day of boot camp, depending if you're active or not. But because I'm in reserves, I do it now, and then I don't do it again. Now, this could all depend what branch you are in, if you're active or reserve, so I do not know how it works for other branches, but for me, if you're reserves, you do your oath at Meps. If you're active, you do your oath at the first day boot camp. So pretty cool. After your oath, then they will give you a paper about your shipping day, and what job you're having, and what rank you're gonna have, and pretty much all the information. And also you're gonna have your ADVAP score with you, so you will know if you're qualified for the job or not. If you're not qualified, you will talk to the instructor, and he will basically discuss what job do you want. Because I already had a job in mind and a job that I wanted before I went to Meps, I had everything cleared out because I was already qualified for the first when I took the ASVAB on the first day, so I really didn't need to talk to him about that, so that was fun. After the shipping day is announced, then you basically wait until your recruiter picks you up. Recruiter picks you up, you sign some papers, and then you're pretty much free to go. And basically that's it, guys. That's what I experienced in Meps. It was actually pretty enjoyable. I had a fun time. The people there makes it way more enjoyable, and we also had TVs, but we just had the freaking best time, actually. Like, it was honestly not that bad. I honestly thought it was gonna be like just sit and wait, but it was that. But because you're allowed to talk to your fellow candidates, it's actually makes the process a lot better. So make some friends, guys, once you're at the hotel. And honestly, guys, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Peace out, and see you next time.